Check. Check. 1, 2. Identification. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to VidaneTV. Here to kick things off for another Thursday night, because it is Nep night in America, parts of Canada, and even out here in the middle of nowhere where we're hooked up doing the production stream here. It's going to be a lot of fun here this evening, and it's going to be a blast. 99 laps on the docket here tonight for the Backup Spotting Services 99 Showtime. Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the broadcast booth alongside me, Ron, Aaron Creed. Aaron, how we doing tonight?
Oh, we're doing pretty good right now. Glad to be here at Iowa Speedway, doing some 99 laps of racing. Like we said, it's the first ever visit, is what I was getting to, for the NEP series to Iowa. And we're gritting. We're pulling off the pit lanes. We better get to the starting lineup.
Absolutely. Going to be fun to keep up with these drivers for 99 laps. And bear with us as we work through some technical demons here this evening. And you can see there's some fog on the go here at Iowa Speedway. 99 laps, as we made mention, on the docket here tonight. And we'll take a peek at that starting lineup as we'll take a look at least at the first couple of pages here as we take a look. We'll do it live here, I promise. As soon as we hit the qualify button, and there, we'll fire it back up just like that. And you can take a peek now, see who is going to be on that front row as I get back over to the other screen. Corey Casagrande, how about that? A 23.291 tied for the front row with former defending champion Steve Daddio.
Yeah, I bet Corey's wishing that the Pro Laps ran at Iowa still right about now in real life. But Kenny Kibbe inside of row 2 with Ryan Messer on the outside, Jeffrey Bradway and Austin Belke in row number 3. Few of them will be looking to for a little bit of, maybe not revenge, but I don't know, revenge, vindication, good luck, whatever you want to call it, when we go racing after last week's Rockingham event. Some of these guys ran real well but didn't have the finish to go for it. We're going to see some comers and goers. We didn't get to the back part of the starting lineup, but there's some heavy hitters starting in the back half of the field. So here we go, Paul.
Looking for a little forward momentum as we watch the pace car dip on down at pit road here momentarily. Going to take that hard left-hand turn 2x2 all the way through, getting ready to rock and roll as we take the green flag for the Backup Spotting Services 99. We're green.
Corey Casagrande and Steven Daddio on the front row, and they're going to continue side by side through the first couple turns on this. I don't know, are we calling it fog or haze? It's like a pretty hazy day to me. But Corey trying to keep the momentum going on that inside line. Iowa Speedway has that progressive banking throughout this speedway. It's 7/8 mile. A little bit big to call it a short track, but a little short to call it a big track. But right now, Daddio kind of picking up where he left off last week at Rockingham. He's in the lead, but Ryan Messer, a big wiggle out of him out of second.
Starting to pull away up front. We've seen all week long here at VidaneTV, clean air is the absolute best friend for a truck, a late model, a mini stock, a street stock, whatever we end up racing here at VidaneTV. Whoever's up in the front, well, they get the clean air on the nose, and there you can see Steve Daddio racking off the quick time so far, the Nitro Defiance quick time. Not too 491 just here before the whole thing. But pretty cool little tidbit we've got here at VidaneTV, and we got to thank ATVO for that little fastest lap there.
Yeah, definitely cool, and Daddio's really stretching it right now. It'll be interesting to see what they do, and let's see, yep, he reports a faster lap time now, that time by. Yeah, a good long run pace is going to be pretty important here. They do get 2 extra sets of tires. They can make it about 68 laps on fuel, so they'll have to make at least 1 pit stop. Pretty wide pit window estimated for this one between laps 40 and 68. We got Ryan Messer. Oh gosh, are they gonna keep it? I think they all kept it together there. Messer and Bradway were sideways, but I think we're staying under green.
And that's how you do it on a Thursday night. We see Ryan Messer won. We call him VidaneTV's Iron Man because he's won in all of our series that we broadcast here. And there's definitely half a dozen, 8, 10 series that we've seen that one truck and that one car come home in a victory lane, and he's showing why he's a monster here on the sim rig. You can see big slide earlier on, took him a lap or 2 to kind of get his bearings, and trying to break back into the top 5. He moved back into the top.
Yeah, definitely an unfortunate start there, but not too bad compared to Rockingham last week. I know Ryan was battling for the lead much of the race, and I think he finished towards the end of the lead lap. Jeffrey Bradway had a top 5, top 10 car the entire race and ended up falling out late in the going. So both of them going to try to recover and kind of used what they can now to get back up. And we do have a yellow this time with 93 to go.
Yeah, there you can see a handful of trucks pointed up into the wrong direction. I believe that's go to Levant, the 7NH machine up on the outside. Doesn't look like it was a big hit, so that's definitely a good move here. It seems like with the banking at this track, if a truck kind of gets out of shape, they're able to almost crank her down onto the left-hand side of the wheel and get it to gather itself back up. So that's definitely good news. That could have been a whole lot worse than what it was.
Yeah, there was a few trucks that looked like kind of got around there, but it looked like everyone was able to get back going. I know you were talking to me earlier. Not only do we not have really too much access to the U-House Racing Designs replay, we don't have the U-House Racing Designs number 3 in the field. It's the first time for Brandon U-House's car or truck not to be in an NEP race. The Ironman streak is ending after 81 races in NEP history. It'll be the first time that car or truck is not in the field. So we'll see Brandon back here next week before we take a Thanksgiving break, and hopefully he's having a good time despite not being with us tonight.
That's what we're doing tonight. We're going to go on strike with the U-House Racing Designs instant replay because the Ironman's not here tonight. Every single race since the inception of NEP back 5-6 seasons ago, 5.5 seasons ago, he did have a sub driver one time back when the NEP drivers or the NEP admins allowed substitute drivers, but other than that, hasn't missed a race. First race missed for the 3YRD, and we'll see him next week. We'll see what he can do with points. I do remember him saying when we started kicking things off for the season that he thought he might miss a handful of races. So with that one drop week, we'll see what that 3 trucks going to end up being able to do at the end of the season.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what goes on here as we continue on. John Peters missed last week. He's back in the field, starting a little further back. Yeah, but things are going to, I mean, sometimes even if you don't miss a race, you need that drop week. And a couple drivers might be capitalizing on that already these first 2 weeks. We got, if the race ended now, I know Evan Bowyer probably would be, as he's in the pits, it looked like from the scoring. From the looks of scoring, he's in the pits. So, and I think he lost a lap. So that's gonna. I don't know if he was involved in that deal during that first yellow, or if something else ended up occurring. But tough break for Evan Bowyer. See if he can recover from that. But back up front, Stephen Daddio, Kenny Kibbe, kind of the story that we've seen here these last few weeks, dating back to even the end of last season. The last 2 champions of NEP, running 1-2 right now. And Corey Cascarande, he had a good run at Daytona, and he's trying to continue things on. Austin Belke having a great top 5 run early on right now, and Ryan Messer back up there in the 5th.
I think Corey quietly found something in these trucks because he's been having some solid runs, solid qualifying efforts here as well. Came home with the pole here at Iowa. So that's 7CT running 3rd right now after just a handful of laps. I think he's going to be someone to reckon with here at the end of this one.
And we're not supposed to play favorites or anything, but I kind of want to see him get a top 3, so then we can ask him about this new livery that he debuted last week at Rockingham. So the purple and the yellow and the black kind of accents look pretty cool on that number 7. So we'll see what all these guys can do when we go back to green here in a lap or 2. It's pretty much anyone's race still. We got a long way to go before we end this one. So some folks getting a little antsy to go begin the weekend, but we got to get through NEP night first for sure. So we kind of have, it looks like we have 28 car trucks. That's the first time tonight. It took me a while to almost slip up there and say cars. But looks like we have 28 trucks on the lead lap as we double back up for the upcoming restart.
I'm going to get that restart with 87 laps to go here at Iowa. We're lined up 2x2 all the way through. Thanks so much for joining us here Thursday night, NEPS night in America, parts of Canada, and even in the middle of this cornfield that we're set up at here down in, I don't even know where we are, Virginia, North Carolina, somewhere out here. We're live on YouTube, we're live on Twitch. Facebook Live hates us for some reason. We're having some issues with Facebook, and I actually think it's on their end, because I did catch wind of Mr. Tim Terry having some issues with it earlier on here as well, as he's ootin' a boot here in the Virginia International Raceway vicinity. So see what we can do with Facebook as the night goes on, but be sure to join us over on the YouTube. You get a better quick picture quality over there anyway, and you can fire right up on the big screen. And man, oh man, I think we're going green. It's getting harder and harder to see through this mist here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. It's kind of, yeah, it's misty, kind of like our friend who's not in the field today, Spencer Davis, kind of had to deal with it in Smyrna over the weekend. Unfortunately, their race got misted, rained out on Sunday. So we're back to the drawing board here at Iowa, and Kenny Kibbe's looking to the low side of the 99 with Stephen Daddio. And the cool thing about Iowa Speedway, I mentioned earlier with the progressive banking, they can do this through the turn pretty much this entire race. We almost went 3 wide there.
Yeah, they definitely thought about it for about a lap and a half there, and you can see just between Kibbe and Casagrande and Messer and Daddio, that's 4 completely different lines. And oh, by the way, here comes Belke in that 24 truck, and we've made mention of time and time again that Belke very, very impressive in that 24 truck rather, back when we did the superTrucks here, the superTruck team deal a few seasons ago, or a few off seasons ago, as it were. And you can see no slouch here at Iowa. He's up in the top 5. He's going to battle here momentarily. Yeah,
for sure. And yeah, I'm wondering why we have never gone to Iowa before in any heat, because this is pretty spectacular. Everyone dicing for positions up front and also in the mid pack too. So, whoa, we got someone getting loose there. I think that was Jason Bricker in the 9. You got to watch yourself there coming out of these corners if you're not set up for some of this. So we've seen a couple close calls already. Running the front 5, Stephen Daddio keeping the lead over Kenny Kibbe for now. Ryan Messer and Corey Casagrande battling for third. Trying to get into the picture though outside the top 5. We've got Keith Lord in the 17. NASCAR season's done, so I think he's got a few more short track jobs before the year's over, but the spotting services of Keith Lord probably winding down for the season. And speaking of spotting services, tonight's race is sponsored by Backup Spotting Services. That's Garrett Benson's sponsor. His first season driving in the NEP Series, and he was the race director last season.
Just one more way that we like to bridge the gap here between real racing and sim racing, and you gotta wonder if you're out there as a spotter in the real life world of racing, you gotta figure that's probably gotta help you out with the sim stuff, right?
I guess so. I've never spotted, and it's been, even though I'm honored to be an announcer pretty much every week, I have not actually sim raced myself for several years. So I don't know if I'm the expert, but from what I'm told, yes, it most likely help.
For sure, I've spotted exactly one time at Stafford Speedway, and well, I was told I wasn't good at it because I talked too much. Go figure. Still side by side for the lead though. How about that 4 truck down the bottom side? He might have enough room this time to slide on up. He does. Slide job, Kenny Kibbe up to the lead. 99, he's not going to sit there though. He's going to go down the bottom side of the track, try and take that position away. All the meantime, one truck to Ryan Messer right there in the mix. We got a 3-way dance for the lead.
Yeah, Daddio's pulling the old switcheroo there, and I'm kind of surprised Daddio really jumped out to that early lead earlier on. And now he was able to stretch it for almost a couple seconds, but now he's got those other competitors right there with him once again. And I have to wonder if it has to do with saving the tires a little bit. We don't know necessarily when we'll get our next yellow flag, or if we'll get another yellow flag. So we'll have to see how the whole pit strategy works out. As we see Keith Lord and Ryan Libby moving into the picture as they get by Corey Casagrande. First time we talked about Libby today, but he started off his season really well, unlike the last couple seasons.
Following along right now with the Winged Up Productions timing and scoring, you can go to www.vidane.tv/scoring. That's vidane.tv/scoring. If you wanted to follow along at home, find out where your favorite driver is, where they're running, and you can see right off the rip that we are just better than 20 laps in. These guys have already fallen off by about 4 tenths and a half a second, so you got to figure if we get another caution here within 5-10 laps, everybody's going to come down for these drivers.
But yeah, I don't think Iowa's ever. If I recall correctly, I don't think it's been paved since it opened. So, or the iRacing track has not. Yeah, it could be a bit on the abrasive side, despite all the space that they have to run side by side. So, but one driver that's really coming into his own in this long run is Keith Gordon at 17. He's under Austin Belkey for fourth. Daddy slipping up. Maybe a little bit of that jumping out to that early lead is kind of hurting him a little bit. But I think he'll get it gathered up, and Daddy is an experienced racer. He'll be there at the end, I'm sure, as long as things go his way. So right now we got Kibbe, Mester, Daddio, and then we got Ford and fourth. There's Brent Roy. Haven't talked much about him, but he's moved his way into the top 10 in that number 26 car. We saw him get a podium finish last week. John Peters is in the picture now. He started way back in about 22nd, I think it was. Regan Parent also started deep in the pack. I know Reggie had said that he's going to be seeing you guys at VIR starting tomorrow, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I saw that message before when we came on the airwaves here, and that's one of the coolest things about working these real racing shows, is being able to put a face to the name and a handshake to the name as well, and just being able to meet all the different sim racers and folks that we've worked with here at VidaneTV, especially some of the OGs. There's been some guys that have been racing with us since our inception back in 2020, and NET is one of those leagues. So always cool to see the sport, always cool to see what goes on at the real racetrack, and it's always cool to be able to kind of bridge that gap. We say that a lot here at VidaneTV, but it's one of those cool things. As you can see, the 24 car of Belkey is in fact going to get around board and take that fourth position. He's going to set his sights now on Steve Daddio. Daddio trying to get back around that one truck of Ryan Messer, but not quite having anything of it down on the bottom side. You can see Giddy all the way down on that yellow line, and Daddio all the way up by the wall where the Clibbins are.
Well, the nice thing about being up having the track position that those guys have is that they can try all these different lines and see what works best. I'm sure they were doing that in practice, or probably not in qualifying because you're trying to make your best lap. But this is a good time to try those things out when it counts, and when you might have that lane, and knowing when it gets toward the end if it's going to stick. So Kenny Kibbe right now making it work from a couple different lines, as we see mid-pack once again. Zane Farrell battling with John Peters, Reggie Parent. We talked about him. There's Joey Dwyer, and we were talking about meeting some guys in real life. I met him at the 50 back in August. So Joey's doing a good job with his rookie, and he's in that number 73 Bluey machine. And right now he's having a solid top 15 run, as these guys kind of jockeying for positions, trying to see how they can settle it. And we're still in the first half of this race, so a long way to go.
Yeah, if we get any kind of local track that we should definitely return to NEP next year, it's got to be this one. This is high-speed chess, man. These guys are all over the racetrack. There's 4, 5, 6 different lanes that these guys are picking throughout each and every corner. So it's racing all over the place, and you can tell almost a second slower than their quickest laps. These guys are screaming on the radios for tires. We go 3 wide, mid-pack to best. Whoa, good save. Indeed, we are. Great save by Ricker in the 9th.
We nearly had our yellow forever that everyone's begging for. But Ricker gathers it back up, and we continue on. So right now, instead like starting with around lap 40 might be the pit window. So I don't know who's going to get anxious and want to come in about 7 or 8 laps, or if they're all going to try to hold out and wait until past halfway, and we perhaps get a yellow flag. So with these cars shaking around like that, I'm sure most of them are expecting someone to get in a little bit of trouble, and there you have it. You'll get bumped back up. But right now, we remain under green with Brent Roy leading this pack.
Biggest set of action on the track. We got right here. It's about 8, 9 tenths of a second, almost a full second for Kenny Kibbe over second place Ryan Messer. Another half second back to third place Steve Daddio, and another half second back to the 24 of Austin Belkey there in a fourth place. So these drivers starting to really get stretched out. We're getting closer and closer to green flat pit stops. And one of the things I noticed after last week's race, everybody it seemed like had practiced these green flag pit stops at least once, maybe twice during the final half hour or so in practice. So hopefully they learned something. I know this pit road here at Iowa is incredible.
It seems like a lot of the tracks we pick, they have a treacherous pit road. The first couple weeks, I think at both Daytona and Rockingham, we've had a couple mishaps coming down pit road. So, yeah, it remains to be seen what happens there. Hopefully everyone can keep their noses clean and we can continue on without anyone losing a huge amount of track position just with a simple pit stop.
These guys are still side by side. Corey Casagrande in the 17 CUT, the 26 car, the camera kid. Brent Roy down the bottom side. John Peters in behind them. They're side by side in behind Peters as well. It's 6, 7, 8 cars here just trying to hold on to the bottom half of the top 10. Brent Roy up in front of this group, running in the 8th position, kind of leading these guys in the battle.
Yeah, and they're, like we said, they're a few seconds off from the leaders, but you never know if the yellow flag comes out. If we have green flag pit stop, particular strategies, these guys could be right there. So don't count any of these guys out, despite being back from the top 6 cars or so. These competitors, they're all very hungry to get on the podium and maybe even get that first win of the 2024-2025 season. We've seen a few of these drivers in victory lane before, such as Brent Roy, John Peters. Few others looking for their first win. Joey Dwyer's doing a great job in that 73, currently looking for 10th spot as he is kind of hounding inside and outside, seeing what works best to maybe get to pressure Corey Casagrande for a bit for position. We got another one that was sideways there back there, but keeps it going, it looks like.
You can almost tell when the racetrack starts to lose grip because almost all these guys in this group are trying to get down on the bottom side of the racetrack. You saw that time by, or group 3 and 4 rather. Brent was still up on the high side. And he's up there about mid-groove, but you can see Peters is down on the bottom side. There's a 73 truck down there as well. I believe that's see through the smoke and the smog here in Iowa, but they're still side by side, it looks like. It's starting to spread just a little bit further apart as we get on into this one. Starting to get a little bit closer to that halfway marker. Gotta wonder if some of these guys are going to try short pitting here at the halfway marker.
It remains to be seen. We should see it pretty much any lap now. See if anyone decides to come in. But yeah, Paul, I didn't know we'd go to Iowa to see smog. But I don't know. Maybe they're cooking some corn in the cornfields, and that's what's going on. I'm not really sure. But Dale Glessner, the 10, he's doing a great job right now. He's marching through the field. I think he's into the top 5. Interesting to see Evan Boyer. I think he just went a second lap down. So that's going to kind of hurt his momentum that he started off with this season. And really, I thought with him just being 1 lap down, if we could get a quick yellow or two, he might be back there in contention on the lead lap. But he's going to have a lot of ground to make up.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm seeing here. Even with all the green flag laps here so far this evening, we haven't seen too many drivers go a lap down. We haven't seen too many drivers retire from the race. Just looking through, not seeing anybody on timing and scoring that showed as retired in this one. Could very well be wrong. Stories lied to me before. But still 26, 27, 28 or so trucks strong, and they're all still trying to chase down Kenny Kibbe in that 4 truck. And he's checked out a little bit. Lester's starting to catch up just a little bit. Still 3/4 of a second lead from that 4 truck back to the 1.
Yeah, it's definitely close. And also taking a look at scoring, it does look like we got 2 trucks behind the wall. A couple of our NET rookies, Eric Kern, looks to be done for the day. And unfortunately, our sponsored driver, Garrett Benson, out of the race. So that's unfortunate. But we'll see them next week, I'm sure, once again. But right now, Keith Ford really getting it up the pace, as is Dale Glessner. They're getting right near Stephen Dowdy out here in the 99 in this what's soon to be a battle towards the lead, as it's still Kibbe up for Ryan Mester in second. This is actually the battle soon to be for third. Right now for fourth between Ward and Glessner. Both of them having a good run right now on this 7/8 mile short track. I guess we'll call it a short track.
of those medium tracks, I think. I think we can, because it's not quite one of the big cookie cutters. It's not quite a short track. It's just kind of somewhere in there.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I mean, in our race notes for tonight, it is being called the largest short track on the NEP schedule. Well, there's short tracks in quotes, so you know, it's one of those things where to each their own. So, but yeah.
Well, we've had road courses that we've called quote unquote short tracks too.
Yeah,
so
I'm wrong. Sure.
I think the air quotes are rather thin.
Where you're at VIR this weekend, it is not a short track, that's for sure. But yeah, right now things kind of straightening out. We are past halfway now officially. So everyone deciding to kind of stick it out and definitely be secure on making it on one stop. So but of course, the way we see these tires fall off and them falling off nearly a second, I'm sure if there's a late race yellow, we might see people coming in for new rubber. So let's see how it all shakes out as we continue. But yeah, like I said, with these tires kind of wearing out, everyone's kind of moved into single file formation for the time being. But I don't think it'll be long before we see the trucks down pit road and we see them dicing for position once again.
Speaking of dicing for position, Grande sliding back just a little bit. I think those tires may very well be cooked on that 7CT, falling outside now of the top 10. And then he's going to get scored at 8, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on with timing and scoring. Oh, pit stop, that's what's happening. A couple of drivers coming down pit road here. Apparently that graphic's not on to let us know that they're coming down pit road, so we'll get that fixed. And there you can see, there's our leader, Kenny Kibbe. I was just going to say, best lap for that Ford truck was a 23.375 earlier on. Last time by was a 24.315. So it is definitely time for some Mr. Feelgoods on the bottom of these race trucks, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to see what Kenny Kibbe decides to do. I have a feeling it'll be a 4-tire stop. Interesting also, we'll see if the track conditions change, though, and if anyone decides to make adjustments. From what I saw with that Kibbe truck coming down pit road, it looked like a pretty long shadow there off of the 4. So I don't know if we're going to be heading into twilight here before we're done, but Kibbe out and away, though. Pretty quick pit stop there for the number 4. Hard to see what we can compare it to. Pretty much on a lap, went in a lap on his own there to pit road. We got a truck that's spinning, and that was Brian Schitt. I don't know if that's going to bring out the yellow. If it does, that could spell disaster for Kibbe. But he actually, I don't know what happened there. He gets loose, and now the yellow's out. Maybe because of that truck up ahead that was spinning. A lot going on right there, right there in front of us, Paul.
Indeed, there is. We're gonna try our best to do an instant replay to find out exactly what went on there, because man, that is a tough break for Kibbe in that 4 car. We're gonna take or the truck rather, so we can see. We saw him come off pit road here. We can get the play button to do its thing. Sam. Live TV, folks. They said try it.
From the production.
He comes off pit road from the production field. And 04 up top and just slides it. Oh man, that is an error that we hardly ever see out of Kibbe. But that's the difference between old tires and new tires. It just loosens the truck right up.
Yeah, I don't know if that was an error though, because there was a truck that spun in front of him as well. That was like not too far in front. I don't know if like there was trouble up ahead and he anticipated it and was reacting to that, or if we had some oil on the racetrack. I don't know.
I think it might have been sailboat fuel. I've seen that happen here before. We'll back it up. Everything looks good on exit. Grabs a gear, everything pointed straight. There's the 04 car going up high. It's right here, he just loses the back end, big wiggle, and the 04 gives him a tap. I think he just lost it.
Yeah, we'll have to. I mean, it's not. He didn't lose much track position. He is caught further back because of the pit stop. pretty sure he lost at least one lap. I don't know. Maybe not. The scoring kind of does still seem to have him potentially on the lead lap. So we'll see how this all shakes out when we go back to green. But I mean, we could be still talking to Kenny Kibbe at the end of the night if he's in the top three. So we'll definitely have to kind of keep note of that and ask him that if he is able to recover and get back up there. He might actually, if all the leaders are pitting, there is a good chance he might get a wave around here and be back on the lead lap a bit. Or is he? Yeah. So I think that's the case because he is currently scored in 15th position. So I think we're going to have a lot of new players toward the front when we do go back to green. It'll be interesting to sort this all out.
And it looks like as we were going over the replay there, we did have pit stops. And man, you are right. It shook up that top 10 in a big way. Austin Belke going to inherit the lead with that 24 truck. Joe Dwyron going to be in second. Reagan Perrin in third. Ryan Messer fourth. Corey Casagrande up to fifth. Johnny Miller, I don't think we've mentioned his name all night. He's going to roll in the sixth spot. Jeff Bradway, Kobe Burkholder, Ryan Salvatore, and Mike Hopkins going to be the top 10 as they run currently. And I think we're going to get the one to go this time by. Potentially. Maybe.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see when we cross the stripe here. Is Barney giving the signal? Yes. Maybe.
Solid maybe.
I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah, we've had some drunk pace car drivers this week for sure.
Well, I don't know if it's the pace car driver necessarily. It might be trying to sort this out. I was actually watching like an old NASCAR All Pro race from the 90s on YouTube the other week, and it was at Homestead. And if you can imagine the late models at Homestead, first of all, that they did that. But there was a restart where it was similar to this, where certain cars were stuck a lap down, certain cars were on the lead lap after green flag pit stops. Also, a late model race with green flag pit stops. That's something too. They used to do that. But during the one yellow, where drivers were caught a lap down and things, they were 4 wide under yellow, trying to set who was running where and whatnot. So I can imagine. Right now, I'm imagining a race director just shouting on the radio, going, "You're running right here. Get into position."
Race directors don't yell.
No, they're the ones usually getting yelled at.
See that a time or 12. There we go. We got her all sorted out. Lights off
There
the
we
iRacing pace car, lining them up 2 by 2. Austin Belke, Joe Dwyron? Is that how you say his name?
Yep, Joey Dwyer.
Joey Dwyron. I'm still going to mess it up. That's this season's bullier. Reagan Perry going to roll off P3. Corey Casagrande, Johnny Miller, the top 5. That pace car going to take a hard left-hand turn down to the safety of pit road with less than 40 laps to go here at Iowa.
Yeah, Austin Belke and Joey Dwyron, if you're from down south. I'm sure that's how it's pronounced there. But we're getting ready to go green here. No, we're going one more lap, it looks like. Or am I miscounting? Yep, we're going around one more time. So we have more time to talk about what's going on here. So we'll reset the order once again. Belke, Dwyron, Reagan Perrin running third. Fourth is Corey Casagrande. Fifth is Johnny Miller. Sixth, Jeffrey Bradway. And go to scoring here. Teams running elsewhere. Running in the row 4, Ryan Salvatore and Kobe Burkholder, Mike Hopkins and Scott McDonald. Haven't talked about him much today. But this whole pit sequence, we got some drivers on the lead lap that it's cool to see running in the top half of the field. Like Bobby Shipp, Jared Adams, Jeffrey Brown going to restart 13th. And then it's Kenny Kibbe. He'll be restarting in 14th spot. It looks from the way that the scoring is set, we have 24 trucks still on the lead lap. So now we're going to go green. And we're going to see what happens here, Paul.
And this is going to be interesting because we've run 50-plus laps, 55-plus laps on almost 60 laps on a set of tires. These guys know that they can run less than 40 laps on that same set of tires. Oh, we got a car around, a truck around rather. Corey Casagrande in the 7th PT having himself a monster race this season, or here at Iowa. pointed in the wrong direction, and that's going to bring out the caution flag once again. We'll see if we can take a peek at that instant replay, and I think it might be these drivers trying to get used to the fresh rubber, because I haven't done much sim racing in the past 5 years or so, but I know when you really get used to a truck driving a certain way, whether it's the tire wear or the changing conditions, as soon as you change it abruptly like that by putting 4 fresh tires on, it's really going to loosen that truck up. It goes up to the high side, and that truck, same deal. It almost looks like at the same spot. Back end just came right on around.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting how that happened. I don't remember what our weather conditions were. I don't think we're dealing with cold tires. I don't think that's it. But like you said, it's just rough rubber and how these trucks react.
And 66. That's not terribly cold. I wish it was 66
It's a little
today,
windy.
Paul. I'm sure you were. It was. Yeah, I don't know if the wind is
kidding.
pushing these trucks around though.
That's a 15. Okay, I thought it was something high. This mobile production trailer is really, really small.
And then there's your answer to the skies, that humidity. I think that was what looked like a raindrop. I know we don't have 97% chance of rain, but the 97% humidity, that could be explaining all this haze going on. You do see it does seem to be getting a little darker too, so that should make things interesting too. See how these trucks all react to changing track conditions during this final third of this feature race. We're going to go under yellow for a couple more laps, get things cleaned up there. I think I saw the track crew kind of just looking over things here, there in turn 2 to make sure that everything's fine. But yeah, we're gonna see how things reset themselves. I think Kenny Kibbe on that restart actually picked up. No, he didn't. He fell back. I don't know if he came back down pit road or what went on, but he is now being scored in 25th. So not sure what exactly happened with that, but we'll have to see how this all goes.
Might have been a little bit of virtual sheet metal damage on that Ford truck, and you figure with as many laps as we have left here at this point, going to restart about 31, 32 laps to go. May very well have tried to put the set of sticker tires on there. And, I mean, that's just one of those things that you're going to have to keep an eye on it, because we've seen 2 drivers now with fresh tires lose the back end of the truck. So I got a feeling a lot of these guys moved down to the bottom side of the racetrack. They got comfortable as the tires started to kind of wear. And as they get on these newer tires, they try to move up to the high side, and they just kind of come around. But that's easy for me to say in the production trailer, and that's easy for me to see through this smog. I can almost hardly see the other side of the racetrack.
Yeah, I mean, and if you do have some damage from prior incidents and whatnot, I mean, with this quick yellow, why not come in and try to massage it out a little bit? Because we know that, I mean, short tracks normally, it doesn't, the aerodynamics aren't a big factor. But we're talking about a bigger short track where it does come into how these trucks handle does come into play a little bit more than, you know, a bull ring type of short track like that we'll go to later in the year. So, yeah, it's going to be, we're going to see how things go. Most of these front runners have not really run into any issues. I'm probably jinxing things right there. But except Jeffrey Bradway, we know he slipped up just a little bit earlier on for what could have been a big yellow, but was just a minor mishap. But when we go back to green, Joey Dwyer and Austin Belkey are going to switch places now, depending on who chooses the inside and the outside there. But it looks like Dwyer's going to restart on the inside with Belkey on the outside, and then Johnny Miller moving up to the outside of row 2.
And one of the coolest things for me, I think, with these big tracks is it's an opportunity for us to get kind of a glimpse what some of these short track races would do on a big track. Whether it's the sim or whether it's in real life, it's a different style of driving. It's a different type of racing, and there's a lot of different things you have to kind of process on any given lap versus, you know, big tracks versus small tracks. And being that we've kind of got the perfect scenario where it's a big track but it's a short track, it's almost a perfect happy medium. We've seen some great racing here at Iowa so far.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see a lot more as long as we can stay under green here and we don't get a quickie yellow once again. But Joey Dwyer and Austin Belke going to bring them back to green, and the 73 gets a great restart. The inside line going to look to capitalize. As there we see that's Reggie Parent moving into second spot. Jeffrey Bradway trying to follow for third. As we continue on, they're coming out of the turn, and it looks like everyone's going to keep straight this time by. And when we come back around, there'll be 30 laps to go, but I don't know who's going to lead that lap. We'll see what happens right here.
Ooh. Parent off to the outside wall, just barely going to take that lap that time by, but I got a feeling we're going to see that 73 truck get as wide as the racetrack. That 73, very, very hungry in his rookie season here, and one of the most prestigious short track racing leagues to win in is the NAP Series, especially for the trucks, as they go side by side still for the lead. You can see the 73 car going to get out of the gas as the caution flag flies once again. I believe it's for Jeffrey Bradway and company a little bit further on back.
Right. But I do appreciate how you said super truck like that. I should do that more often. But yeah.
So I've been doing that all week with Ashton Reiki. Monday night with the Fast One Late Model Nationals, and I did it Tuesday night with the RBR Maritime Group, and I did it last night with the Turn 4 Productions, and I had a chuckle because there's probably 4 wrestling fans out there that get it.
And I am not one of them, unfortunately. But
yeah,
yeah,
it was an old ring announcer thing from Edge. He was, oh, they're rated R superstar, so we're super trucks. That's just a me thing. We'll take a look at the U-House Racing Designs instant replay, and we'll take a look back and see what exactly went down with that Bradway machine. Down the bottom side of that green and white truck, yellow spoiler. Drifts up, drifts up, drifts up. You can see he got a little bit of a bobble there in the back end. There's Belke in the 24. Up on the high side, gets to the corner, big wobble, and there's the truck nose. So sheet metal flies off, big hit from the 13. I think Bradway's done for the night.
Yeah, that's a tough break. We've seen some flashes of brilliance in the second season with NEP. I think, did he win one of the duels? He got pretty close to winning to having a great result at Daytona, and then had a good run going at Rockingham as well. But I don't know. It might be that sophomore jinx starting off for the NEP series this season. He's shown speed for sure, and I'm sure it'll be in no time we'll see him in the top 5, or maybe on a podium, or maybe a win.
And you can see the lights are still on in the iRacing pace car. A lot of those drivers lined up down the bottom side. You saw that time by. The pits were still closed. Still had the red light there at the entrance. They're going to go by at least one more time. This is going to be interesting. We're going to get the restart with about 25 laps to go. And we made mention 20 laps in that these drivers were about a half, 3/4 seconds slower than their quick times. So I don't know, man. If you've got a set of tires down on pit road, I think you have to come down and take it.
Yeah, we're getting close to that kind of decision time for sure. The question being, are we going to have another caution? Because if you're not, if you don't get another caution, you're going to be stuck out there. So on older tires. But at the same time, during this run with these fresher tires, most of these guys have not gotten many laps under them on this set of tires, because we've only ran like a handful of green flag laps. We've been running most of them on yellow, under yellow. So it's been a kind of slow middle stage of this race. So it seems like now, yeah, it looks like most of them are going to stay out and see what they can do on the current tires that they have. I don't know if that's really necessarily means that we won't see some tire changes before this night's over. We very well could. But it remains to be seen. We've never raced here at Iowa before, so it's hard to tell. It's hard to predict what we're going to see.
Just trying to get caught up with all the socials here. Brandon Newhouse, he is not here in the field. His truck's not here. His car's not here either, but he is in the chat. He's over in the YouTube chat, hanging out with us, watching the race here tonight. Apologize for the Facebook feed being down here this evening. Not entirely sure what's all going on with that, but I do believe it's a them issue and not us, because we are hot on YouTube, we are hot on Twitch, we're hot on Twitter as well. So appreciate everybody tuning in here this evening. We'll make sure we get that video on demand up on the Facebook page there as well, so you can fire it up at the shop or the household or wherever you may have it. And Man, I gotta say, Aaron, one of the coolest pictures I think I've ever seen was Corey Casagrande just built his own big house. Go figure, Casagrande, big house, right? That's Spanish, I
I'm
think.
building it.
Still building it. But over the mantle with the nice Christmas stockings was VidaneTV, the last race that we had up there, saying he loved Fridays. So always cool to see these drivers race on Thursday night. Kind of go back and watch the tapes back on Friday or the weekend or Monday or wherever it may be. And we appreciate everybody tuning in live Thursday nights, each and every night here with us. We got a lot of racing going on here at VidaneTV in the sim racing world, leading us into the 2025 calendar year, which is, well, it's going to lead us into some real racing stuff. So be sure to stay tuned on all the social media outlets, the websites, all that good stuff for sure. But the lights are out. We're getting ready to go racing once again. We're going to have 24 laps to go when we cross the stripe.
Yeah, we're going into the final quarter of this race tonight. See if we can get some green flag laps in under our belt. We got some new contenders there towards the front. Arcel making up the outside of row 3 there. We saw Bobby Ship into the picture. So some of these drivers looking for some solid runs. Arcel's already got a top 5 this year. Looking for his second one of the year in 3 races. Reggie Parent's going to jump out to the lead over Joey Dwyron. And then we see Johnny Miller and Austin Belkey battling for third, but got a battle up front again. And a battle for fifth.
These guys are battling all over the place. Battle for the lead seems to have sorted itself out for the time being. Reagan Parent holding on to the lead, Dwyron back to second. Johnny Miller down the bottom side, up, just getting up on the high side. A couple orange trucks side by side for that third spot. Belkey down the bottom side into 24. Ryan Salvatore having a monster run at Arcel TV numbers. Well, he's up in the top 5 for the first time tonight. Keith Lord right on the outside looking in. He's down there on the bottom. There's Colby Burkholder down there as well. Ryan Libby in the 46 truck. Crazy to think it's 22 to go. I think that's the first time we've mentioned that 46 truck. Mike Hopkins, Brett Roy rounding out the top 5 as they run.
Yeah, and we talked about how, we got some stacking up coming out of turn 2. I think that was Brent Roy that went around down in the 26. I saw it out of the corner of my eye, and we're back under yellow.
A bit of a marathon here tonight at Iowa. 26 car pointed in the wrong direction. Got to give a shout out to Freddie Bannister, who's watching here as well. Longtime VidaneTV supporter. Appreciate you tuning in here tonight. A little Thursday night NEP action. And we'll take a peek here. There you can see there's a handful of trucks involved. And dare I say it, is that the exact same thing we've seen a handful of times already?
Could very well be coming through the corner here, and he just got it through again. He just
got just too high. Well, he had a little help that time.
Yeah,
had a little help.
Yeah, but I mean that's tough. I think that was Bobby Ship that got in the back of him, but Bobby had nowhere to go there. They got the momentum really winding up coming out of the corner. And we see Brent Roy, Zane Farrell going to also take advantage of coming to the pits. We have quite a few that are taking advantage of a pit stop now. Maybe just deciding to take on those new sticker tires. After all, now that we're going to be under 20 laps to go when we go back to green, quite a few competitors taking the time to come back down pit road.
This is going to be wild. These guys are going to have fresh tires. Most of these guys haven't been on pit road more than once, so they do still have at least that second set of tires down on pit road, and they're going to feel like Superman. But we've seen what these trucks do, how loose they get on fresher tires, so we'll see what goes down. Everybody kind of taking their time. They know that they want to make sure that the stops are right, make sure all the virtual lug nuts are nice and tight so they don't have any kind of mishaps with less than 20 laps to go. But there you see Reagan Parent up front, Joe Dwyron running in second, Johnny Miller, Austin Belkey, and Ryan Salvatore running out the top 5.
Yeah, and one driver that this might benefit, is the 56, Evan Boyer. Do not count him out just yet. He is 2 laps down right now, but he is the first truck a lap down, so I think he's going to get a lap back. Yeah, he's going to be scored 1 lap down when we go back to green. If there's another one of those quick yellows, he's back on the lead lap. So that's one thing about when some of these kind of a caution fest kind of sometimes can play to your advantage. But it's still going to be hard, especially what we've seen the second half of the race. Some of these drivers that were out of track position, on the far end of the track position, it's going to be tough to get back towards the front. Like, we have not heard from Kenny Kibbe. in quite some time now. Although he is with the pit stops, the way they all sequence and everything, it looks like he's going to restart in 15th. So that's a little bit better than he was before. John Peters starting back in 16th. I don't think we've seen the end of some of those guys just yet. But it's going to be hard. It's easy to pass. You can get under and there's plenty of space to run 2, 3 wide, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's easy to pass.
Yeah, and we've talked about it a couple of times on either end of the racetrack. You can go high, low, middle, low, middle, high, all over the place, and it's made for some phenomenal racing. And with the front 10, maybe front dozen or so trucks staying out on those older tires, and probably 10 or 12 trucks coming down to get new tires, they're going to try and mix and match themselves with about 15 laps to go. I think Kibby's going to get that caution he's looking for to get himself back on the lead lap.
Yeah, it was Bullier that's going to get back on the lead lap.
Bullier,
but yeah,
I knew that.
Gibby could get back up there too, for sure. This is going to be interesting to see what exactly happens here, and see how this all shakes out. How about next week though? We're going to Charlotte, from if my schedule is looking correct. So kind of 4 different size tri-oval type, D-shaped tri-oval type racetracks in a row, but all different sizes. We had the big 2.5 miles from Speedway Daytona. We had Mile Rock, the 7/8 sort of short track of Iowa Speedway. Then we're at the intermediate 1.5 miles next week in Charlotte. So a lot of variety. We talk about that every year when we come to the end of the series. We still got some road courses to race at, some shorter track than this. A lot of fun to come here into the winter months.
Charlotte's going to be a blast. That's going to be a lot of fun to call that race. These super trucks on the Charlotte 1.5 mile, absolute bangers of a race for sure. It's one of my favorite things to race from back in the day, and I think the iRacing pace car missed pit road again. I'm almost wondering. I know sim racing, or iRacing rather, does a really good job with the realism and all that stuff. And I know we had the incident with the pace car in the cup race there. I'm almost wondering if they're just trying to kind of mock it, because I feel like we've had issues with the pace car all week here on TV.
It could very well be. I didn't even think of that. I was thinking that the field sorted right and we had to go another lap under yellow, but you could be right. It might be all, they might be dispatching a new pace car here for pretty soon. Next week we might have to see a pace truck pacing the field instead. So we'll see what happens with that as we get into the latter stages of this race. It looks like we're going to go green with 15 lap remaining.
I'm still waiting for iRacing to set it up to where I can get out there and drive the pace car. I think that'd be a lot of fun. There he goes, making that hard left-hand turn. I'm going to grab my corn dog and a Coke. We're going to get that green flag here with 15 laps to go. And look at these guys getting spread out here on the start. Great start for Parent in that 17 truck. He's going to pull away by probably 4 truck lengths there going into 1 and 2.
Yeah, that was interesting. Reggie chose the outside that time for the restart. He really got off to a great start. It seemed like the field brought the field down a bit on a slower pace, but we pick it up and we're putting them down once again as we have 14 laps to go, with Parent taking the top spot, Dwyer in second, and yet another yellow flying further back in the field.
Big bada boom indeed. This shot of Corey Casagrande on pit road done for the evening, it looks like, and just trying to get down and around. Camera controls aren't the greatest on this.
Good shot of Barney throwing the yellow flag.
Yeah, who put the wireless down? Who put the wireless camera down? What a great shot.
Don't do that at VIR this weekend.
Yeah, good call. Especially with all the rain they had today. They might lose it. But under caution in any sense with 13 laps to go. Going to give, I believe, like you were saying, that puts Bollier back on the lead lap, does it not?
I think it very well might. So, I don't know. It's hard to tell. I think the trucks that have not completed a lap were those that were involved in that crash. Bobby Jeff Brown, Corey Casagrande. And then Dale Glessner looks like he's lost a lap now. So I think, yeah, Evan Boyer might be the next truck that would put him most likely, I'll just say most likely until it's official, on the lead lap. So I sound smart.
There you go. Can't be wrong if you put the allegedly up in front of it. I learned that from Pat McAfee.
Yeah, well, that's why I always use some of those filler words, I guess you could say. I don't know. I don't know if that gets you ahead in life necessarily, but
Well, it keeps you out of the trouble for the most part.
yeah, yeah.
That's half the battle sometimes.
Sometimes you got to take that risk, though. But yeah, I think we're gonna be at 10 laps to go, or maybe inside. Here comes Evan Boyer. Yep, he's gonna get back on the lead lap, and
That's huge.
Lap. Yeah, definitely.
That's huge, especially if he's got a set of tires still down on pit road. I don't know how many times he's been down, but if he was able to slap some stickers on that thing, man, I don't know. We might be seeing that 56 truck making some moves with less than 10 to go.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's all dependent. Is 10 laps going to be enough time? That's going to be the big question now. We haven't really seen some of these competitors just because we haven't had many green flag laps available. That we still got Kenny Kibbe mired back in 16th. We've got John Peters in 14th. Ryan Messer, he's still 11th, looking to crack back into the top 10. Stephen Daddio running 8th, not bad, but definitely not like we saw earlier on. So right now, if we continue on this pace, it could be Richie Parent and Joey Dwyer in 3.
Absolutely, and I mean, it's really going to affect the psyche of these drivers because we opened up with a long green flag run, and in the back of your head, you figure, oh, well, we ran 40 laps here, we'll probably run 40 laps to the end. So a lot of these guys probably kind of planning for that long run setup, not so much with the setup, but with saving the tires and really kind of easing on into the corners. A lot of these drivers started doing that in the second half, but we've been mired with these cautions. So that definitely could be a factor that's going into these couple of cautions. And I mean, one of the big things that we've noticed hasn't been anything huge. It hasn't been any kind of major events or anything like that. A couple of self spins there with the trucks getting loose in the back end, a little bit of contact, and some bumper trucks for sure, but nothing too crazy out of the ordinary with these trucks. So they're still getting around here single file. We're gonna get them racked up, I think, second next time by, and we'll take the green flag here with 8 to go. So things are about to get busy here at Iowa.
I like how you referred to bumper trucks. I think that should be a new amusement park ride. I mean, we always go to bumper cars, but bumper trucks would be something else, wouldn't it?
I mean, if they can put an ECW roller coaster up at, I think, Disney or wherever it is, I'm sure we can get some bumper trucks somewhere. I imagine it's doable.
That would be something. But we might see I was going to say real life bumper trucks, but virtual real life bumper trucks coming up. We're going to go another lap under yellow, and we're going to have, I think, an 8 lap dash to the finish then, because we're picking it off here, and there'll be 9 to go when we go back.
And that's right. It's not a game. It's a virtual real life simulator. But
Yeah.
Lights out on that pace car, lined up 2 by 2. We might get that extra lap. We've been getting that extra lap here the past couple of cautions. So we'll see what the pace car driver wants to do as he gets towards 3 and 4. But once again, got to thank everybody for sticking with us here on a Thursday night. A little bit of overtime here tonight. Usually these races done rather quickly. It's dare I say it, it's getting late.
Yeah, I think we just saw that extra lap. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we are going back to green this time by. We can get going here and get the show on the road. Maybe get these last 8 laps in under green. I don't know. We'll see.
Here he comes. He's got to be out of corn dogs and cokes by this point. That's an interesting start there from the 17. You can see it almost like he downshifted and tried to save the truck up on the high side and just got out of a cannon. That 17 truck has this place figured out, but it looks like the caution flag going to fly right off the rip.
Yeah, I don't know if they like that restart or if there was a problem further back in the field. Dan Winter, we see in the 81 once again. Haven't really talked much about him. But I don't know if there was any involvement there or if we're just slowing down. So we can have an even more down to the wire dash to the finish.
Yeah, just looking, I don't see anybody pointing in the wrong direction, so that may very well have been for the restart there. Last time was kind of pushing it. That one was a little bit excessive, I think, for the 17 truck. So we're gonna get them restacked, re-racked, and it's almost down to green-white checker time here at this point. 7 laps to go, 17 up front. Joe Dwyer running in second. Monster, that's probably the best run that 73 truck has had in his rookie season here so far. Johnny Miller up to the 3rd spot. Ryan Salvatore still up in 4th. Austin Belke running in the top 5 there as well. Keith Lord, Steve Dadio, Ryan Libby, Scott McDonald, and Kirby Burkholder going to round out the top 10 as they run. Lights still on top of the iRacing pace car.
You're going to get another lap, because why not, right?
Why not? Yeah, we're going to get one more parade lap, and then we're going to get 5 solid green flag qualifiers. We're going to go raid the concession stand, see if we can get some hot food half off.
Yeah, definitely. And that's one thing I hope. I hope they have the concessions open for you all when you're at VIR this weekend. They do have some really good concessions there. Don't know with it being the Legends weekend, if it being a first service kind of deal. But I hope for your sake that they have some really good food there at the concessions out there at VIR. But we're going to go back to green here. Is it going to happen? I think it's going to happen, Paul.
Yes, let's
there
go.
There he goes. 5 laps. 5
the
more
fog
laps.
has even lifted.
And that's a little more even restart right there. Reggie Parent gets out to the lead. Joey Dwyer in the second. Harstow up to 3rd. I'd love to talk to Harstow on the podium for one of these races. That would be amazing. He came so close at Daytona, finished in 4th. Well, there we see going 3 wide there for 4th. Ryan Libby trying to make some moves. Whoa!
Do it! Caution flag flies, 5 laps to go. That was large. That was
wow. Regan Parent, I don't think, once again, lost through the corner, tried to collect it and just slammed the wall. And we're going to have to sort these out again once again. We're definitely going to have a green-white checker to this one. So we'll see how this running order all kind of shakes itself out. Tough break for Austin Belke there in the 24. It looks like he might have some damage. But yeah, let's see how they stack these up here. Wow.
Yeah, the wreck from the lead is a tough spot to be in. We'll take a peek at it here. Following the 17 truck up front. Here we go. So everything looks good. They're single file. Gets into 3 and 4. A little on the high side, but not bad. Here you see it. It's almost like right in that transition, like right on the line. That progressive banking. I think that might be where a lot of these drivers are losing it.
Yeah, and it just saw him just overcorrect just a little bit too much, and that ended up with the hit into the wall. And we saw some pretty good trucks collected. John Peters was involved. We saw Austin Belke get involved, and we saw Dale Glessner is going to get back a lap. So not over till it's over here at Iowa. Actually, Glessner's 5 laps down, so it is pretty much over for him. But still out there kind of doing what he does to try to finish off this deal. But I don't know. Right now, it looks like unless he has a problem with the truck getting loose, it could be Joey Dwyer in the driver's seat for his first NEP win and is only his 3rd start. It's not over till it's over, though, like you said.
I really want to interview the top 2 right now, but I'm not gonna. There's been too many times where we've done that. The last couple of lap commentary curse. We're gonna let these guys kind of focus in on the final couple of laps here. This is gonna be fun. There are a bunch. There's a pair of hungry drivers up in the front too. Keith Lord's up there in 3rd. Johnny Miller running in 4th. Steve Dadio, defending champion, runs 5th. Colby Burkholder, Jason Ricker, Scott McDonald, Mike Hopkins having a solid top 10, and Reagan Parent dropping all the way back to 10th after that little bit of a slide. John Peters, Cody LeBlanc, Ryan Libby back in 13th. Kenny Kibbe back on a lead lap. He's in 14th. Zane Farrell back in 15th. I don't think we've mentioned Zane's name all night either as well. Kyle Casagrande, Jared Adams, Brent Roy, and Bobby Ship the top 10 as they run. Still looks like we got 28 trucks rather, on the lead lap, and lights are still on top of the pace car, so we're going extra distance.
Yeah, we're going to be going into overtime here. We're going to have a green-white checker finish, though. And yeah, it remains to be seen with Regan Parent. Yeah, he might have blended in there into the 10th spot when the yellow flew, but that truck's got some damage. So I don't know what that's going to hold for when we go back to green. If he's going to get shuffled there, if he's going to hold some people up. There's some drivers still behind him that are looking to get into the top 10. Kenny Kibbe still mired back in the 14th spot right now in the running order. One driver that this did help, Steve Daddio. He is into the top 5 now, and his title defense really starting off on a good note. As if I remember correctly, he had podium runs at both of the first 2 races. So we're not done here yet, and he could possibly get back into the podium before this is all said and done. But when we go back to green, it's going to be Joey Dwyron and Ryan Salvatore on the front row, a front row that we're not really used to seeing in an NEP. So, Paul, what do you think?
I'm not sure what to think, man. This is going to be wild. A little bit of a connection issue for the 73. We're going to have to keep an eye on that here in the closing handful of laps. But 73 down on the bottom. You made mention this is his 3rd race in the series. Ryan Salvatore been here since the beginning. Don't believe he's won an NEP race in that number 12 truck, and he's got a heck of a shot. He's probably got the best shot that he's had in the 5.5 seasons that we've run the NEP series. He's going to restart up on the outside. Keith Lord, Johnny Miller, Steve Daddio are going to be the top 5 when they take the green flag. We're going to take a peek at that pace car. We're going to see where he's going. Is he going to go down pit road? We making another lap?
I think he's coming. Yep, here
there
we go.
He is.
Green flag getting ready to come out, and they're going to stack them up a little bit for that restart once again. Dwyron's going to get out in front of the 12, though. Good strategy right there. Arsal's going to have to really hold on to try to keep the podium position now. Here comes Lord in the number 17 as they come off the backstretch. He does get a bit of a momentum. They're coming off the corner, though, as
I was going to say that 12 truck was loose, but man, everybody is loose. You can see everybody doing everything they can to make sure they hold on to it. But we're going to take the white flag, white rag, Joey Dwyron heading on down into 1 and 2 for the final time. Going to go down the back straight away. Doesn't have much of a challenge. iRacing going to stick into the tire track. Daddio going to take a peek down below the pit there.
Joey Dwyron in his 3rd career NEP start is going to take the checkered flag. We got them wrecking big time behind them, but Steven Daddio nipped Ryan Salvatore at the line for 2nd, but Arsal at the podium finished as well.
Oh, about that for Arsal TV coming home with a podium. How about it for Joey Dwyron? Everybody going to come up and give him a virtual fist bump with the race truck. Man, oh man, what a race. Great
How about that
to
from Mike?
see some action.
Yeah, Mike Hopkins got 6th. How about that?
Holy cow. We definitely need to make sure this is on. It doesn't matter if we're running Miatas next year. I think this race definitely has to be on the schedule.
Oh, for sure. Joey's doing a little bit of celebration like we saw him do at some super late model races earlier this year at Lee USA Speedway that I was in attendance for in May. Watched him take down the 250 lap race there.
And that's what's cool, being able to see some of these drivers win in real life and then come home and do it on the simulator. And I think you've actually caught up down there in victory lane as soon as I can get these wires crossed up here. But I believe you've caught up with our winner. Just kidding. Live TV. But in any sense, we can take a look, while I tinker with some of these buttons here, we can take a look at the wingnut scoring, timing and scoring results there. Great to see Joey Dwyron come home with the victory. Steve Daddio up in 2nd, Ryan Salvatore in the top 3, and we're gonna get talking to those drivers here momentarily, as soon as we can get the voice chat all kind of sorted out, because for some reason it doesn't want to do what I want it to do. So we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna do this. And then we're going to talk to Sal for the very first time, I think, in 5.5 seasons from the podium. Ryan Salvatore, what are you doing in 3rd, bud?
You know, I'm asking myself the same question. I have no clue. We started way back in 18th, and yellow fell, and then everyone just kept moving out of the way. And this is shocking for everyone. This may be surprise of the year.
Surprise of the year. We're gonna have to talk to the video highlight guy to see if we can make that happen for sure. But great run here tonight. Truck looks solid. We noticed with new tires, there were a couple of drivers that were kind of making, I don't want to say mistakes, I don't want to say errors, but it seemed like they were kind of losing the back end of the race truck. What did these things feel like once you got those fresh tires on there?
The first couple laps of a run, it gets really loose coming off of 2 and coming off of 4. So it's a really fine line. You kind of gotta let it slide a little bit, but control it. And if you go over the edge, it just goes around. And then you saw that with Reggie from the lead. He just same thing. He just got off of 4 and just spun the tires a little too much, and you lose it. And it's tough to hold on to, and that's what makes this place tricky. But it's also what makes it fun.
Yeah, put on a heck of a show here tonight and a solid finish podium for that number 12 truck. Who gets you to and from the virtual racetrack?
Teammates, 4 wide reprinery, Steve and Kenny Austin. They had good runs all at the beginning, and then kind of had some issues there at the end. But Hot Rod Solutions of Daytona, RSL TV. Go check out the YouTube and see any of these clips or funny clips, or well, just go take a look at it. Yeah, you guys.
Political way to put it.
Yeah, you guys in the booth. NEP, Corey, and all them for putting it on, and this was a goal of mine for the season, was 1 podium. So I did it. So I think I'm done for the year. I think I'm just gonna call it quits. So
hanging up the virtual booth. You can come on up here in the broadcast booth. We'll leave the door unlocked.
In-car reporter. I'll do that.
There you go. Ryan Salvatore coming home with a podium finish here at Iowa. And just a little bit further on up the track, you've caught up with our winner, Mr. Ride High, Joey Dwyron.
Yeah, Joey Ride Height Dwyron, and Joey, breakthrough victory. I'm sure it's going to pass the Ride Heights right there in post race tech. But how about that? Winning here at Iowa, your 3rd career NEP start. Take us through those last few restarts.
It was crazy. I needed a long run. I was terrible on the short runs, but luckily Reggie crashed and was there to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and we see you take the wins on the real racetrack. Now we see you taking the wins on the virtual racetrack. And how big is this for you? I know you've been kind of getting your, I guess you can say, your sea legs under you at with these competitors in the NEP league for these first couple weeks, and kind of showing them how it's done here at Iowa.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not don't have the raw speed that some guys have, but the long runs, I feel like I'm pretty good. So hopefully try to get better in the new tire runs, but we'll see. I'm excited to get to the smaller tracks here.
Yeah, we got a few of those coming up. We got Charlotte next week first. What do you think about going there?
I don't know. I can't even remember the last time I raced there on iRacing, so I'll probably be terrible, but it will be fun. So hopefully it'll be a good race.
All right. Well, we'll give you the chance to thank those that get you from the to the virtual and the real racetrack at this time.
I just gotta thank my Bluey crew. Everybody, my kids love my truck, so that's why we got the Bluey truck. But yeah, and this is Corey and everybody for putting the league on. It's a good time.
All right, that's Joey Dwyron taking the victory, and over to you, Paul. You're with our 2nd place finisher. We've seen this guy on the podium a few times.
That we have, reigning defending series champion Steve Daddio coming home with a P2. Steve, talk to us, man. Great run.
You guys getting sick of me?
Not yet, no.
Yeah, I talking to Brandon about this race. That was a lot of fun at the end there. I wish we went green a little bit more. It's not very exciting to run pace laps around here, but I feel like I had speed early in the run. I last week I ran too conservative in the front half, and this week I ran too aggressively. But I found where the limits were in the truck. The top side does roll when you got fresh rubber, but you got to get down to the bottom through the middle of the run and at the end to keep any kind of speed in it. And it seemed like with all the cautions, you know, I had, I think 20 laps or something on the tires, but I think half of them were pace laps. So the tires were still pretty fresh late in the race. So I kind of I was just kind of picking a lane and hoping it stuck, and it did. I was picking off cars left and right. Except if I got lucky early, it was around a lot of wrecks, but late there, it seemed like I could put the truck wherever I wanted, and it was going forward.
Now, we're still early on in the season, but you got to take a look at the finishing result here tonight. Ryan Libby came in as the points leader, finished 9th. Evan Bollier came in 2nd. He finished back in 17th. You're up here with a podium finish. I think that's going to put you into the points lead once we leave Iowa, but no pressure, right?
Yeah, fortunately, not an unfamiliar place. Like I said, I want to run up front, and we've been doing just that. We caught an unlucky caution as we were pitting there, and like set us back. But like I said, I'm here to win, and I'm here to drive. And I don't know, the truck, like I said, just seems to suit me. This is a cool place. A lot of the progressive banking allows you options, and thank God for that tonight, because I had my work cut out for me in the middle of the race there, starting so far back.
Momentum picking up early on in the season. Who gets you to and from the virtual racetrack?
Got to thank my sponsors, Daddy-O's Reverie, Brandon. Actually, Brandon, just like I said, just texted me. I'm kind of crabby. Actually, I finished 2nd. I was happy about the first 2, but good for Sal. I know Sal wanted a podium real bad, and good for Joey getting his first win. But I just needed a little bit more time, and I think I would have put some pressure on Joe there. I was really fast late, so. Friends, family, everybody watching at home, you guys up in the booth, thanks again for doing the broadcast. I know you're traveling, but you stuck it out and put the show on for us. And then the guys in the NAP League, and Corey, Zane, Brandon, thanks for doing this again, guys. Again, look forward to Thursday night every week. This is always so much fun.
Absolutely, and that's going to wrap things up here for us tonight. Anthony Stevens just walked in with my Wendy's, so much appreciative of that. But man, Aaron, great run here tonight. Great show here tonight. A little bit long-winded, but all in all, solid race.
Yeah, definitely had a good time. That was some intense racing when we were under green. But we'll see it all happen again. I know you're looking forward to Charlotte next week, and we'll do it all again next Thursday night.
Going to be an absolute blast racing 4 nights next week. Monday night with the Fast One Late Model Nationals. Tuesday night with the RBR Maritime Season Ocho. Wednesday night with the Turn 4 Podcast Winter iRacing Series. And then right back here for Neps Night in America and parts of Canada as we take the supertrucks out to Charlotte Motor Speedway. That's going to do it here for us for tonight at VidaneTV. We'll catch you on the flip side. And when we do, we are going to be doing it live.